Hi, Jennifer from Asterandanne, and today I am talking about our Rory Satchel. Our Rory Satchel has been designed so that you can pop a bottle of water in there or anything. It's a super practical size. It's a crossbody strap so that you can wear it across your body if you want to, but it's also neat and compact, but very, very user-friendly. It comes with a facing in it, and it comes with the gussets already made. So all you need to do is do the embellishing. So this is one that I have done some applique on, and I always like to do something on the front as well as the back. That really depends on what I'm doing. So that's that one. It's another one with some applique. And as I've mentioned in other times, what you can do when you're practicing is you can always embellish the front facing first before you do anything on the front, just to have a practice that way. I often like to do that. And this is one with just applique on the front. You can also hand embellish them. This one has all been done by hand, and I did so on the back as well. The felt is really fun to work with. You can see I have done like some crosshatch stitching across the top there. So that's that one. And also, another one where I've just taken more fabrics and appliqued them. Again, the same thing. I practiced some different stitches on the facing, and I have also lined this one as well. So lots of options of things that you can do with our Rory Satchel. And so now we'll take a look at what you get inside. Alright, let's take a look at what we get inside our Rory Satchel. Let's open it up. So our main body piece is this one, and it is a really, it's a really long piece. It's actually 92 centimeters long, but that's our front and back body piece. So that's it there. We have our facing, as I mentioned before, and our gusset pieces, 2 gussets, and we also have the darts have already been stitched in on your gusset pieces, so no extra work required there. It has our crossbody strap with just a snap-on attachment, and in here we have our strap attaches and magnetic closure, and we have some pins and some needles, and we have instructions. All of our instructions have images on there, so they're really easy to follow. Okay, first of all, with some of our bigger kits like our Rory Satchel, because it has been folded up for a while, it's got some crease marks in it, and I like to try and iron those, well not try, I like to iron those out first of all before I would be doing anything else. So I like to use also a spray starch. This one I'm using is by Heaven Sent spray starch, but you can use a spray starch and just wet the crease line and let that soak in a little bit, and with a dry iron, and I do put it on the synthetic setting So we just iron away those creases. You just try to make it so that we're drying it out and that's all nicely ironed away. Let's do another one here. So quick to do, spray starch on, dry iron, and iron away the creases. And then we can get started. Okay, the first thing that we need to do after embellishing our Rory Satchel is to sew on our magnetic closure. And to do that, we take our facing and just sort of mark the center. So the front of the facing has this curved section to it. So just mark the center there. Do that. And then really it is just stitching on our magnetic closure. I like to allow about 1 centimetre from the edge there so that when we're sewing on later we're actually not too close to our magnetic closure. And we're really just going to stitch that on. I'm going to hold it in my hand as is and just start stitching. All of our hardware comes with pre-punched holes. So here the holes are already punched in, making it easier. If sometimes it's a little tricky to get the needle through from the underside, you can always do what I just did and come from the top and just put your needle through, just in case there is any residual leather from the punching of the holes. So we just work our way around. You can get creative, you can get decorative here if you want to. I have to admit I've not really done too much in the creative side of things here. I tend to just stitch it on, but it is entirely up to you. You can of course stitch this on by machine if you prefer. I personally prefer to do it by hand, but that's just my preference. It's one of those ones that's maybe a little on the trickier side. I'm just not holding the needle in the right spot. Let's have a look that way. Got it. You know, the needle always goes where it wants to go, right? Around this way. Almost there. There, that's it there. Flip it over. And just tie that off. And there we go. One side of our magnetic closure stitched on. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do, we've got our magnetic closure on the facing, is just pin it onto the body of our Rory Satchel, and that way we can work out where we're going to put the other side to our magnetic closure. So just pin this on. Just keeping the edges all even. Okay, that's all pinned. Now the easiest way to work this one out is we fold up the body of our satchel and just evening up or getting it level with the indentation there. Bring the facing over and just level, even that up again here. So we're wanting the top of the satchel to be married up with the underside of the facing, so you can see leveled up there, and make sure it's same on the other side, and take off the other side of the closure, and then we just need to pin that into place and stitch that on, and then we have it in an even spot. Okay, so now we just sew on this other side. Anytime when you've got excess felt in your hand, just roll it up, or in your way, roll up the felt, and then you can get it out of the way. I do that also when I am machine stitching. Just roll the felt up, hold it out, and keeps it out of the way. So we're just now stitching this on to the body of our Rory Satchel, and same as before, just all the way around. Find those little holes. And keep on stitching. I'm still using Wonderfil's spaghetti thread, which is a 12 weight Egyptian long staple cotton thread. It's a nice and heavy weight, and I'm using double here so it gives a nice bulky look. You can of course, if you wanted to, stitch it on by machine and then use a 40 weight thread if desired. Getting there. That's it. Flip it over and just tie it off, I like to just fill in, join the circle, tie it off, and go back through the felt, and we are done with our magnetic closure. Okay, the next thing that we need to do is stitch on our strap attachers. Now, using the pocket line is a helpful guide, as well as using the indentations that we have in our Rory Satchel. So one at a time, and I'm just going to stitch this on. I like to allow nearly a couple of centimeters from the top here, and with holding up the pocket from the underside, I'm going to start, and I start I can be kind of just more towards the top, and do the first couple here. This top one is on a slight angle, so you need to actually take your needle sometimes. Easier to take the needle out and then thread it through here, because this little bit here on the back side covers over part of the hole, so that's a little trickier to do there, but once we've got it, we're good. I have to come around this way so I can see it. Okay, got it. Alright. Oops. So we are going back in there, and I come out through the top on top of the felt, on the top side I should say, and what I like to do is thread this needle through the actual top of the attacher. I thread it through across to the other side, and then I go back in here, to come up, pull it snug, just a couple of times to make sure that here we've got it's nicely attached from the top. And get back in there. Yeah, pulling it tight. Back across to the other side again, and then continue on all the way around, and just make sure that it's good and firm at the top. Just keep working back around. Being careful not to catch the pocket on the underside. I have done that before, so just be mindful of that, keeping that out of the way, and stitch it all the way around. A little tiny bit fiddly, but once you get the hang of them, not too bad at all. And One little thing that you can do, and I perhaps should have done, is just before you start to stitch on the attacher, make sure that all the holes are free of any potential residue bits of leather that might make it a little harder to stitch through. So we're almost at the end. And around. So the reason why I like to start in the middle is that we're starting underneath where the pocket is. So we're hiding any of our stitching really. The last one. And back through here. Pull it firm so it's all nice and snug, and then tie it off. And that is one strap attacher attached. Now we just need to do the second one. And we'll do the second side. Okay, the next thing to do is we're going to sew on the front facing. So I've left it as I had it pinned on before, so we're just going to sew that on. And I am using this time Wonderfil's designer thread. It's this one, it's a polyester thread, it's a 40 weight. And the reason why I like it, it is the perfect colour match as well as being strong. This is colour 127, and it is the thread of choice when I am just wanting to sew any of our kits together and not have any of the thread showing, so that my embellishing stands out more. And I am using a 3 stitch length and just stitching through. So with just a narrow hem, I'm doing just a couple of millimeters all the way around, and we just follow the curve. Going around, and you'll notice, as I said earlier, that we don't have our magnetic closure too close to the edge, because then it makes it difficult for stitching on. This way, sometimes you might want to just go over the top of the closure. there we have it. That is the facing stitched on. Let's get that away. So you can see there the facing all nicely stitched on. And the next thing to do is our side gussets. Okay, next we're just going to pin the facing in, and obviously we pop the part with the dart into the center. And how I suggest the easiest way of doing these is that we're pinning on the top. So we're actually pinning, and we're going to be stitching the body onto the gusset, not the gusset onto the body. And this will enable us to be able to have some movement around the curves. So starting at the top edge on both sides, and this is where we just marry up the indentation that we have in our Rory Satchel with the top of the side gusset there. And we'll just pin. And keep pinning. So I like to do the sides first, and then when it comes to the bottom, we can just maneuver it around. So just folding that around, and find that we can get it to sit nicely. Just a couple more pins. So you can see this is where the pins that you get in your kit come into play. Okay, so that's all pinned, and now we will start to sew. Same stitch length as before. Back space. And it's where we fold the felt, fold it down, so that we're just maneuvering it around as we go around the curve, so they're just a nice gentle curve. Make sure they're even together. And we are almost there. And there we have it. The first. Oh. It's a lot to maneuver around, but the first side done. And then we just need to repeat that for the other side. Okay, now we're just going to do the other side as well. So repeat, doing exactly the same thing. There we have it. One Rory Satchel all together. You can see all there. Okay, and then we have our crossbody strap. And really simple to attach. Just pop them on. There we go. Ready to go. So many different ways you can decorate and embellish your Rory Satchel.